First, I want to show the thing that everybody can just watch on Twitter without hearing the homeless left take on it. And I want to show this is the kind of garbage that we're seeing from the Zionist crowd. And these people have this girl, this is Montana. She's got I got it. So she's with Montana, she's got 10 million people saw this at least. And she's saying she's basically edited together her little experience going to UCLA. We're going to show you ours in just a second, but let's show you what a Zionist take on it, and all her followers are able to see what she experienced. She says, Montana says, after seeing everything on the news, I decided to go and see for myself what is happening at UCLA. I went in with the intention of having honest conversations to try and truly understand each other's pain and suffering. Okay, okay. We see where you're starting from. All right. However, no one would speak to me. Okay. I would like to find out why. Okay. The only thing they would say to me is you can speak with our media liaison, or we don't speak to agitators. When I tried to speak with their media liaison, they again refused to talk to me. Okay. So
scroll.
Yeah. Okay. So we go,
no, he's got to scroll.
He's gonna scroll. Okay.
Scroll then, Jamie. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, too far.
Up a little. Okay. Then when I tried to peacefully enter the encampment, which is on public property that anyone has the right to walk through, they set up a human barricade to physically prevent me from going in. I can't believe this is what our world has come to. Where are their parents? How are the school systems allowing this? We have to do better as a society. My hope and dreams is still the same, that one day we can all have love, peace, and understanding each other. One day. Wow. Okay. This is hard for me. I was really debating whether we should go all in on this, but I do think it's important. We want to see the entire strategy here.
Let's do it here.
This is what she did. So this is the post that accompanies, or this is the video that accompanies the post.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA. So I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here?
No, sorry.
Not letting any media. Okay, we were just standing outside, just trying to. Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna interview with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
No, agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media.
They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Well, then you can try again.
I've tried, and this lady specifically is telling me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage with agitators.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why you guys can't speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I literally have walked around for the past 2 hours just asking peaceful questions like, what's going on here today? Why are you guys here? And no one can speak to me. And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny. I genuinely wanted to learn from you. And I wish we could have ended in a hug. That's actually what I hoped from this. That's my dream from all of this, that we could understand each other.
Wow.
We need more barricade, guys.
Oh, God.
We've been seeing all over the news.
Please get us on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Obviously, fake tears. By the way, a lot of people, if you read the reactions, they're calling her shit out. They're saying, "Come on, like that's just so over the top."
The tears relate the tears. Playing the victim just really loses it.
It really loses at the end. But one thing she was able to accomplish and really trick people into, and again, this is why we had to go there and see for ourselves. We were right where she was standing. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened when we got there. But the idea is that if
you saw her there.
Yeah, she was walking around. I hadn't seen this video, so I didn't know that she was putting this thing together.
Okay,
but she was there. My other guy saw her too. She'd been going back and forth, and so there's a whole and there's more intel I've gotten since. And so let's do this. Okay, I'd like to show what we saw when we got there and really explain to you guys that this isn't okay. On one hand, the movement isn't complicated. It's a very simple movement. You just don't want people to get murdered anymore by
civilians.
That's it.
You can even
stop the occupation, stop the genocide.
Yeah, stop the bombing. Just stop.
That's and to be very clear, the UCLA, particularly the UCLA protest, is about defunding the UCLA interest in the defense contracts and the weapons that they're providing. That's the main thing: is stop funding this crap.
Yeah,
and that's so it's a very clear. There's nothing very complicated about it. What gets complicated is understanding the pushback that's coming, anticipating that pushback. How many protections that the protesters have to put in place, and do it in advance, understanding all the things that can go wrong, not from their movement. What can go wrong by being infiltrated, by being manipulated, by the media manipulation.
Being wrong, to getting the wrong message out there.
Yes.
But is that what really? Well, okay. So let's. In your personal opinion, do you want to show your other video first, or do you want me to ask a couple questions?
Ask a question.
Well, okay, so you said being, like how it could be misrepresented if they get the wrong message out there. And I understand, like, oh, there's the media liaison, but the only problem is the media liaison refused to speak. And then all these other people refused to speak too as well. I mean, what that girl should have done, what I would have done was like, okay, so I'm going to throw some questions out there. If you don't want to answer them, don't answer them. But this is the questions that people want to know. Are you supportive of Hamas, a terrorist group? Not like that. Don't you think there should be some reaction for October the 7th, for when Hamas came and attacked innocent civilians and the raping and all that? Even tell all the lies, but throw it out there right in front of the people instead of crying. Right? Maybe that would have been a better tactic. It
would have been, but these protesters would have behaved exactly the same way they did. They would have, in unison with their masks, and we're going to get to that, with the masks, very, very calmly, quietly. Maybe one of them says something. You heard only the one said, "Hey, we don't like to deal with this stuff." They will shut it down themselves, and the reason they have to is because the attempt to engage, that the Zionists take, the attempt to engage in debate is not honest. They're not honestly trying to engage in debate. They're trying to set you up for circular logic, to talk you into a circle, so you'll say something, a little soundbite that the media can then play on the news that night on YouTube, and get the whole thing to look like crap.
But the way you counteract that is you film it yourself, the whole discussion, and you just put tags on those little one things, so then it leads to the bigger picture. Sometimes you have to be able to counteract that. During Carrie Lake's campaign, so the media wouldn't do what they were doing, she said, we're going to film the media filming us. So if they try to take it out of context, she had the link right there for the whole discussion, and it made them look bad. And then she can then come back, and a lot more people were seeing the truth out there. They should have used that tactic. See, at the end of the day, if you say nothing, I think that you still lose. And I understand what they are trying to do is bad, but it does also make it look, when she goes, none of you guys will talk, it makes you just look like a bunch of zombies and authoritarian rule coming on, because you didn't see that as much in Austin. Alex Strenger went out to the thing, and he got a lot more pushback and conversation than what we see over here from her. But now, I'm sure that she got some people talking to her. She probably just chose not to show that and to keep her point across.
That's right. And I do think that then the police do get involved, and we saw that at the other campuses when things get out of control. Why do things get out of control? Because the Zionists attempt to start a fight. And I'm not kidding you, man. We were there for 3 hours. I saw every attempt to start a fight.
You're going to show that on your show.
We're going to show
at noon, guys.
We're going to show more about what me personally going up against about 20 of them at one point, and think Leslie was filming and getting some of that. But it was definitely an experience. But right now, let's take one step back. We're going to show what we captured when we got there, and and this is very important. I'm going to take this going in, guys. When you're about to watch this. The barricade that they talk about, the Zionists are starting from a very dishonest place. It's not a barricade that's stopping anyone from getting to class. It's not stopping anyone from getting through the school, getting through the campus. It's in the center of the campus. You walk around.
Yeah, we'll get to
that's
that
important because when their starting point is very dishonest, and that's why they don't get. Why would we talk to someone who's intentionally trying to act like we're stuck and we can't get through?
We're jumping ahead again, Matt. We got so much energy, we got so much work in us. Let's go to what I saw, what you showed me.
Okay, let's
really quickly to answer the question, because I'm going to get a little bit ahead. You were wearing a Free Palestine hat.
That's correct.
Did you do that strategically so they would talk to you and not push you away the way they pushed away Miss Montana?
It was a strategy that I just felt was honest to myself, that I can go in there. Yeah. I can say, hey, I'm for the cause. I can represent myself as media if needed. I also had we had some intel there that said you might want to make a decision when you get there if you want to go to the media table or not, because you might have a better experience being more low key as one of the people. So I didn't want to make that decision. So I figured, look, let me just put the hat on. Let me get there. I don't necessarily have to.
Because you honestly believe it too, as well.
Well, yeah, I want to experience this thing, and while I'm there, I got my little sound. I got the phone. I mean, we all have the ability to bring stuff in today's day, guys. We can all just get good sound. I got this from Jose Vega, actually. Gotcha. He said, "Oh, make sure you have good sound." I got a picture on you. You don't even need the picture. You just need good sound. You can get anything you want, but get in there. So that's all we were doing is the homeless stuff. We're saying, let's get in there and see what's actually going on at UCLA.
Guys, do us a favor. Hit a like button, hit a share button. Help us out, help the show. All the links down below to support independent media are there. This is Matt Weinglass at the UCLA protest, the homeless left. Go check him out every Thursday live at noon Pacific at the homeless left. Here we go.
Located here at UCLA campus. They bought the tents. They're here now. Obviously, there's going to be resistance on the other side. We're going to go check some of that out. I want to start talking to some people here. But it sounds like they got a good system in place. We got these tents set up. They're not going anywhere. Hopefully, the cops don't disband this whole thing. So far, what we're seeing is peaceful. They're very courageous. These students are wearing masks. From what I've gathered from looking into this, a lot of it, nothing to do with COVID. This is part of the let's be safe with our identities, all the AI shit where they're able to kind of find you in crowds and use it against you later. I definitely want to talk to some of these guys on the other side, see what the hell's going on with them. But for now, this looks like a good setup. I hope they can make it through the night. I think the most jarring part about this being here at UCLA is that you had these two sides that were extremely loaded, where their starting point was very loaded. And I thought that most of the bad energy was going to come from police. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we've heard about these other campuses, and I know that the police had broken up the USC one earlier. But I think when we see these student Zionist groups, they're filled with so much intensity. That's the light way of putting it. It's really just a lot of hate. I felt a lot of hate, a lot of aggression, a lot of antagonizing behavior. Here's the other part about it, is that this other side of the peace side, the people for the anti-war side, the humanitarian side, we're all kind of preconditioned to come into this very ready for that type of battle. And in a weird way, not taking the bait almost makes the other side even more angry, and they get more vicious. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. The police are not the ones breaking this up. The antagonizing is coming directly from the Zionist groups on this campus, and they want conflict. They want physical altercation. They want yelling matches, and they're just it's insane. So I do have to applaud at least the peaceful side. I have to applaud them for their commitment to following the rules that they implemented.
All right, so I have questions beyond questions. All right? Okay, let me get this down real quickly.
Okay.
So first question: what are the protesters' demands?
Specifically at UCLA, they are asking, they're demanding that the school itself stop funding these war contracts, whether it's Boeing, whether it's some other ones that they're
school
involved
themselves.
in. That's right. They're demanding that from the school. So that's the specific one to UCLA. Yes.
Are they going to occupy the grounds until their demands are met? Is that why? Or is it just like a one-day sleepover? They go back to normalness, or are they staying until they get what they want?
They are staying.
So
they're not going.
They're right there right now.
Yeah, that's correct. And this goes back, and we're going to get into more of this. The why they have a barricade set up, why they are creating a safe place inside for that barricade, where the tents are, where they can sleep, where there's not going to be chaos inside. So they have to keep a perimeter around that barricade and keep it safe inside.
Did you get into the barrier?
Now, I attempted very lightly. I didn't try hard, but I wanted to see what would it take to get inside. Now,
so you asked.
I asked.
You spoke to their media personnel.
I spoke to the. I didn't go direct. I wanted to hold off on the media. I went to them later. Yeah. I just wanted to go up to I wanted to just have casual discussions with some of the people. They were wearing yellow and some orange gear that meant they were the perimeter. I just want to just casual, just get to know. As journalists, we try to get friendly, just to off the record stuff.
Yeah. So tell us more about that when you try to get into the barrier and what you discovered, because I think this is also an interesting part. Right. We need to talk about this.
Okay. So what they were telling me right away, and I know they were sizing me up. They go, "Is this guy, this Palestine hat, is he fake? Is he a plant?" So they're being very, very short with me. but they said, you got to wait in this line. You got to fill out some paperwork. And I said, what is going on with the mask? They go, you need a mask to come in. I go, okay, can you explain to me? Is that about COVID? And they said, yes, it is. And I go, really? And they go, everyone has to be COVID okay. In other words,
okay, wait a second. What do you mean they have to have COVID okay?
Now listen. I'm telling you that at the time I was so blown away, and I needed
I
time
wish you were recording this, like at least
Okay.
audio,
Okay,
man.
we actually we did get a little. I'm still going through everything because we had
Okay.
2 phones,
Right.
and we had some. There's some little,
Just
little
to reiterate,
snippets.
everybody,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, Matt Weinglass was at the UCLA protest
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
He's done some amazing work. They just showed him. He was outside the barricades. He was talking about what he saw. He found out what the demands of the protest were. He found out they were not leaving until they got their demands met, which was to divest from the companies, the colleges to divest from all these war companies and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then when he tried to get inside the barricade himself, he was told that they have to wear masks because of COVID, and they had to be COVID friendly, meaning they had to have the vaccination card.
You have to have this. You had to have a test that meant you were COVID.
Wow.
Now listen.
Test
Now listen.
in 2024.
I'm telling you, Passet, this was scripted.
Yes.
This was brilliant. I didn't know at the time. I was like, you guys are ought to be kidding. Because I heard some of these other, our fellow podcasters, people that have done assessments on, said, no, it's not really COVID. These guys cannot be doing that. And I was like, I was so blown away. And then I looked at it a little closer, and at the end, I go, you know what? This is
They had it written out, the demands?
They had it written out. I saw a piece of it. Okay, so this is an overnight, right? So
somebody get us some of that thing if you were at UCLA.
No, but just let's pretend we're in a think tank with these guys.
Yeah.
Let's just, because we've organized, right? We've been in protests. We've seen what is it? How do you conduct a successful protest? We've talked to people who are great at it. People like Jose Vega, people that we know that they understand the art of protest, right?
Yeah.
So what did these guys do in this think tank? And if I was a fly on the wall on that one, I can tell you based on what I saw on Thursday. I'm going to tell you right now, somebody in that room said, let's make this about COVID. That's the most foolproof plan we could have. So they can't argue us. They can't deflect
All right,
it.
so maybe somebody, I don't know. And when you think that it will keep the people out who are against, well, first of all, I'm assuming that, if there's a bunch of Israelis there, Israel was the most shot up country on the planet. So they probably can produce a card and get infiltrating. But to think that, the right wing would stay away because they're anti-COVID, you might think that's a good idea, but
but that's not going. Let's go a little further. further. So it's not about the COVID protocol.
Get a banner up there, Jamie, about showing your mask and your COVID shots, please.
So what is accomplished by being able to say this is for COVID protocol? What's accomplished is you get to where everybody gets to wear their mask. You don't have to talk. We don't have to show their faces. We talked about the AI thing. I mentioned that on the video, that we don't want them to using our faces against us later. But I think even more than the AI thing, because I thought that was the main thing. I thought this is about AI. It's actually, I think that's the second reason. I think the very, very biggest reason that they're doing that is moments that I saw over and over and over that night. I saw them getting people coming up behind, like you saw that one girl in there who just with the Israeli flag just coming up, taunting, harassing. Why don't you answer the question? Do you know who the leader of Hamas is? Do you know this? Do you know what about from the river to the sea? Tell me vocabulary answers. Tell me answers to trivia. If you can't answer my trivia question, then your whole movement is crap. That's their logic. It's called circular logic. Don't fall for circular logic. Whether or not a protester is able to answer a Jeopardy question does not define whether what they're doing has a good intention or not.
Wow. Well, listen, there's a big negative to that. And sometimes I think this is a CIA plan to do that. The CIA leaders at the top kind of instructing that, or if this finance is coming from some dirty entities that really can kind of like water down your protest, right? Because there are people out there, and this is something that would, listen, the one thing that RFK did more than anything was he splintered the anti-establishment movement right in half with this whole Israeli position right there. Because there were a lot of people on the left that we were seeing who they were, people like Max Blumenthal, myself, Kim Iverson, Jimmy eventually made it out there to there, there were anti-COVID protocols, and we're not going to wear masks anymore or go get our vaccine updated, whatnot. Most of us didn't even take the vaccine in that clan, that leftist clan, but he splintered it right in half. When they come up with rules that you have to wear a mask because of COVID and you must have a test, they are watering down. And if it's an infiltration from the inside, it's an accomplishment, mission accomplished, because they are now watering down that protest and they're making it about something else. They're actually just solidifying the team sports. Oh, if you're pro-Palestinian, you're also pro-COVID vaccine. That is
okay.
bad. You're pro-mask. That is bad
Okay.
because I'm the opposite, right? I'm anti-vaccine. I'm anti-mask, but I'm anti-Zionism, right? I'm an anti-Zionist. I'm anti-ethnic cleansing. So even though I share that same idea, I can't join that group because I don't have the same feelings with them on COVID.
But Pasta, they don't need you in that barricade. This is what I want to tell you guys. They don't need us in there. When you asked me if I had tried to get in there, I half-assed tried, and then I stopped. I stopped trying because I realized I was going to be more effective on the outside with my mask off, which was my job. That's my purpose. I'm not there to get in there. I'm there to support. But listen, when I started having those discussions outside, and you're going to see, if you guys watch Homeless Left on Thursday, we're going to show you what happens
I
when
can't
I
wait
take
to
on
see them.
And a great takeaway. And you guys are going to talk more about it on Thursday, but a great takeaway is as I was having those 20 Zionists come at me, I was right up on the barricade and we had the masked people inside in the safe zone. They were listening. They came up. They had my back. They all had their masks on. They weren't saying anything, but they were nodding along. And the sentiment was they were saying, we're doing our job in here. You're doing your job out there. We're all in this together. It was incredible.
I want to see that
incredible bond because they were like, this guy gets to go at them.
Wow.
We get to do our peace deal in here where we get to be safe. We get to sleep in our tents, and we're not going to leave here until we get our demands. And you are protecting us out there. That's what happened.
That's pretty amazing. Please go check out The Homeless Left this Thursday at noon at The Homeless Left. They're on YouTube. They're on Rumble. Please go subscribe. Go see my boy Matty Weinglass over here. Wow, that's some amazing thing. Now, we do have one more clip from this thing because you were mentioning something about the whole.
Yeah. So now that we know that you guys saw what we experienced, and that we were standing in the same place as that 10 million view Zionist woman, and what she did is she got a lot. I told you guys she got a lot of pushback on her feed from that, like, hey, you know, your crybaby tears, all this stuff. So she went ahead and said, well, if you don't like my video, because I think she regretted doing the crying. So if you don't like my video, what about this? And she shared another guy doing the same thing she did, but he did it in a lot cooler way. So she's trying to say, well, what about him? Did he pull it off better? I want you guys to see this, what this guy did, because he doesn't do the crybaby stuff. But it goes back to how it's presented. Yeah. So I want to help educate you guys on what to look for, the red flags of when something doesn't smell right.
So you're also going to say that there was a little manipulation in this video.
That's correct. And this goes back the barricade situation. You're going to hear him talk.
Montana Tucker, your friend, says you can say whatever you want about my video. What about this? This is a Jewish student at UCLA that's simply trying to get to class, but is being blocked by a similar human barricade. Met with the same, we don't engage with agitators. Explain this one.
And to be clear, this is not a human barricade. This is a circular setup in the middle of campus that you can walk right around and get to your damn class. Okay. And if there happens to be a particular entrance that's shut off, and we'll be absolutely clear, every single student at UCLA can get to their class. If they have to go through a different door, that might happen, but they are going to take you. Oh, you're not letting me go through the door I want to go through.
Yeah,
that is
trying to make it look like he couldn't get to class. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I'm getting oppressed. This is what Jewish students, anti-Semitism is really about. But see, this is the thing. As the group, they should have said, please just go around the other way. You can get to class. Please just go around the other way. You can get to class. Please, we're just trying to protect ourselves in here. You can easily go around the other way. They should have made sure that they pointed that out instead of allowing them to be in a position where they can misframe it. And now a lot of people, the majority of people out there, the normies out there who aren't going to dig and dive, right? Who ain't going to look for more of this, who weren't there to witness what you witnessed, you saw, they can simply walk around. They should have had somebody at each place to say, please just walk around. We're just trying to keep ourselves safe. Please just walk around. We have personal property over here. Please just walk around. And then that person said, no, I want to walk through here. And it makes them look bad. So they need to get better organized, I think. No?
Yes, in theory, you're right, Pasta. You're right. Yeah. However, again, 3 hours there, I'm telling you, man, these guys, there's a mindset of circular logic. Here's what I would guess would be said back to that. If you said, well, could you please just go around? It's totally cool. Just, oh, me? I have to go around? Like, and why me? Because I'm Jewish? Is that what? So they will find something.
And then you can say, no, it's just because we have this is our encampment. This is where we're set up. You can easily walk around. It takes 2 seconds. I'm asking you, please don't come through here. Just walk around. This is not a hard one. Okay. If the person could easily walk around, you know what? So then instead of all the people going, wow, they really were oppressive to that Jewish kid. These people have a point. There is anti-Semitism going on in UCLA. They wouldn't let a Jewish kid go to class if they would have just pointed out, like, look right over there. You can walk 30 feet and go around the barricade and go to class. So please do it. At least they would have won half of the people over there. But all right, he's being unreasonable.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This is what it is to me to be organized.
I think that's a fair critique.
Yeah.
However, the conservative approach, which they took a very conservative approach, is everyone's part of this well-oiled machine. It's the only way we're going to get to the finish line. We have to stay as machine parts. We can't go off on our own and start with our own debate skills. But guess what?
Yeah.
Pasa can do it. Matt can do it.
Assign somebody to each entrance and exit that knows. You got two people there. That's part of organizing. Let's play the clip to show what's going on.
See.
Remember, Matt Weinglass pointed out it's probably, what, a 50-foot walk to go around?
Oh, come on. Yeah.
All right.
Boo-hoo.
Boo. You poor oppressed person.
We're going this way. You guys have closed the entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school. And they're not letting me walk in. My class is over there. I want to use that entrance. Why can't they go? Will you let me go in? This can be over in a second. Just let me and my friends go in to class.
We're not engaging.
Then you can move. Will you move?
We're not engaging.
Okay, we're going. We're going. I'm going in. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them. I'm not hurting them. That's what they do. That's what they
Wow.
Okay.
do, everybody.
You
guys are promoting aggression.
Aggression.
You guys are promoting hate. We're UCLA students. We deserve to be there. Let's go.
All right.
Okay. So watching that several times, and I just noticed a new thing watching that at the beginning. So he's choosing to post this. She's choosing to post this, starting it at the point they want to start. If you notice the security guard at the beginning, watching this last time, it's very likely and most likely the security guard explained exactly where he could go, and they just started it right after. So for those kids to have to continue to tell someone something that he clearly already heard, he's deliberately doing this. It's manipulation, and they are taught, do not engage. And they made that call as a collective. And you talk about collectivism.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best that you go into this type. It's a war. It's a battle. It's a war, man. I mean, these guys have to be tight. And I'm telling you, like, after that 3 hours I spent there, I can't even believe that they had that type of patience and just calm. I have to give a shout out to these guys at UCLA for doing that. And to be very clear, these are students, these are young kids doing this. The infiltrators, the Zionists are coming from the community, the Jewish community in Westwood.
Yes.
Are infiltrating the campus.
And they live there, a lot of them. So they're right there in Westwood.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening here. And I just have to give the shout out and the props to the kids that were able to pull this off and hopefully can continue, toughing it out. Like real protests and have an actual results.
Yeah. Well, right now, I think if they're watching, they catch a piece of this, make sure you have somebody stationed at each place that's willing to say, please, sir, you can go around, to point out that it's just a short walk around. You might not win everybody there, but might be some people saying, no, he has a right to go walk wherever he wants on campus. He's a student. Okay, but you'll have some people say, well, all right, well, let's not be ridiculous. Because he goes, look what they are doing. They're doing aggression. They're like, no, you're not coming through here pretty much. And they should, have somebody point out those reasons, have some people at the entrances and exits. They got to get better organized. They want to make sure their message they give themselves the best chance to get the best message out they want, right? And they need to be able to do that. So I think there is a little work, but like you said, you gave them some props for the patients. They are at least definitely organized on the same page. They just got to add a little bit more repertoire, a little bit more context, a little bit more nuance to those pages.
And I want to add one more intel we got about the situation there. So when we left Thursday, it turns out that they spent the Zionist group, and this checks out on GoFundMe. They started a GoFundMe and they raised $50,000 to help with another infiltration, which they attempted to do on Sunday.
Yeah.
It didn't quite, from what I'm hearing, and I didn't go back, so I didn't see for myself, but I got word that it didn't work out very well for them, but they used the money to it was to build a stage so they could have a little more presence.
Mhm.
And I don't know how much of that money they put to, tip, just giving people a little show up fee.
Yeah.
But that's what they did. So that's all
They
about.
could use that money for sign,
Whatever they needed
whatever
for
they.
it. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Zionist groups real quick.
Okay.
What's their deal and who's their benefactors? What is their plan? What is their objective, and who's behind it?
So how far do we want to go with this? I mean, you have the people on the ground. As we know that there's always people defending power, right? And they work for free, right? We always say, so anybody who's like if Netanyahu have the idea, they're watching these guys they go, oh wow, we don't even have to write them a paycheck at the end of the month. They're just doing our bidding for us. So you got those people.
Yes.
They're working out of emotion, there's a lot of that ego, how you grew up. We're the victims. We have to let everyone know this. We can't lose that narrative. If we lose that narrative, our entire world is shot. So I can't say what the end game is for somebody that's acting out of emotion. Now, somebody acting out of more strategy, someone a little higher up, we can go down that rabbit hole if you want. I mean, all
right. So listen, now on Thursday, guys, on the Homeless Left, that's where he's going to play the video when he had to take on the Zionist group there that was kind of being agitating and almost threatening to you, right? I don't want to ruin it, but please go check it out. And it seems to me that you had at least an idea or a suspicion that they were just trying to sow some type of chaos, trying to get some response back, like you said, so they can clip it, right? You said that was probably part of their plan. And also, I would assume, and I know it's bad to assume this, but a Westwood Zionist movement would have a lot of funding behind it, a lot more power than those kids, whatnot, and the Palestinians. Am I right or wrong on that? And what did you suspect overall?
Well, so overall, just being an older crowd who's based, that's their community. A lot of these students are not even from. They're just going to school. They from across the country. This is not their community as much. And so the
Zionist, the protesters. The
protesters is not really. They're away.
That's not their. They don't live there.
No.
This is their home base. A lot of the Zionists. So they actually live in Westwood and those surrounding areas.
And one of the access that Zionists in Westwood have, they have access to Hollywood money. And so the whole thing is really they're very strong and they're very well equipped. And just my personal experience, it was I gotta say, and we're gonna talk about this on Thursday on the Homeless Left a little more, but I have to say it was a workout session. It really tested my debate skills, and I did learn a lot about how winning arguments, it's not really about winning arguments. I think what I did is I was able to plant a lot of seeds. And we talked about this on the last segment with you, Pasta, that as these different tricks where they were coming at me about, hey, tell me this, tell me that, or have you ever been to Israel? This is a good one. Have you been to Israel? I'll pay for you right now. You can go out there. So there's this whole kind of talking down to me. Like, how would you know what goes on? You've never been there. And I even with qualifying, I have close colleagues and friends that have been there. So that's not good enough. So I saw myself falling in that trap of, well, I haven't been, but I know. So they wanted to take me on that little ride with them. And I realized, you know what, the best way out of this one is just to shoot them right back and say, you know what, I'll take you up on that. Why don't you pay for me?
Yeah.
It's going to actually, you know what? I don't even need your money because the tax dollars are going to pay for it anyways from the US and from the British government. And then when I get there, why don't I just set up camp? In fact, just give me a house of a Palestinian family.
Yeah.
Kick them out. Just get rid of them.
Give me some place in the West Bank. Yeah, I could set up there.
And then we can talk about in the West Bank. I would set me up in the West Bank, and then we can talk about how Israel's a democracy.
Jamie,
no, but I say take them up on the offer and take their money though.
Take the money directly.
Yeah, take their money.
Yeah.
But they'll send you there.
Yeah. That's true. And let me just add this. You guys know my last name is Weinglass. It's a Jewish name. I talked about this on the show last week, and I
called him Weinberg before. I was like, what's the difference? Weinglass, Weinberg, Weinstein.
Wein. I know I have a look of like I get asked a lot. Is it a German name? Is it Jewish? It's 100%.
It's I before E, except after Weinstein.
That's correct.
Or Weinglass.
So I know I don't know the look I have with the white guy, the shade. So I get asked, is it German? I have German descent. But the name is 100% Jewish. My mom made it up for me and my brother before we were born. So you were born into a name that wasn't I just kind of had the name.
Gotcha.
And I've been in LA, I have to say, like, guys, just it's about time this gets said. This name has only helped me. It's only helped my career in this town. I get into meetings with the name, and then they find out I'm not Jewish, but it doesn't matter. It's because you got the pass, you got the VIP card. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't talked about this really until now. But it's important to say that. That's my perspective. Now, you guys might have a different experience, But I've been in Hollywood for 20 years. I've been running the show not that long as 20 years, but my experience in Hollywood is why I do the show now. This is why we do this. It's our personal experience, feeling homeless, feeling like we're not being heard. We need to form a coalition. We need to be honest about things, and it's time to be honest. It's time to be honest about what is actually happening. And what's not happening is a major anti-Semitism problem in this town. That's what's not happening, at least from my perspective. I'm not seeing it.
So we have the title wrong today. We talk about election integrity on Thursday instead because we want to go over Matt Weinglass's footage at UCLA. Matt, that was amazing. That was a great perspective, and I think we need to get back out there sooner or later to see what's going on. I know Jeremy Kuzmarov, the professor's coming out here. He's doing some panels and whatnot. Maybe Friday we can go check it out. I don't know what you got going on, but Friday might be a day we can do something out there. Guys, all the ways you want to help independent media are listed down below. Make sure you go to the Homeless Left. Check out Matt Weinglass this Thursday. He's going to have more footage as he takes on some of the Zionists over there.
We have Kit Cabello, Hardlands Media, joining us on Thursday. If you guys want to see that conversation, friend of the show, friend of your show, we're all in the same issue here.
Hey,
just get the story, get the truth.
When Kit comes on, make him show you his kilt.
That's right.
He's going to be wearing a kilt. Make him show it.
I will make it. Thanks
and
for that.
Talk crap about Costco pizza. Okay, listen. Do you need to?